In 2020, a small group of developers deployed a piece of code that unlocked over $100 billion in a single year. No banks, no brokers, no permission required. This is the story of DeFi, and why it might be the most important financial experiment in human history. To understand why DeFi matters, you first have to understand the system it was built to replace. For centuries, finance has been controlled by gatekeepers. Banks decide who gets a loan. Brokers decide who can trade. Exchanges decide which assets are listed. And those decisions are rarely about you. In 2008, the world learned just how fragile this system was. Banks that were supposed to safeguard your money had been gambling with it. Governments bailed them out with taxpayer money. Millions lost their homes, their savings, their livelihoods. Satoshi Nakamoto watched this happen. And on the 3rd of January 2009, embedded in the very first Bitcoin block, was a headline from the Times newspaper: Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks. It wasn't just a timestamp, it was a declaration. A financial system where no one needed permission, a ledger no government could erase. But Bitcoin had limits. It was designed as money, as a store of value, a means of exchange. What the world needed next was something far more ambitious: programmable money. In 2015, Ethereum launched with a radical idea: a programmable blockchain. Where Bitcoin was digital gold, Ethereum was digital infrastructure. Developers could build applications directly on top of it, programs that ran automatically, enforced their own rules, and couldn't be shut down by any central authority. These applications became known as smart contracts, pieces of code that hold, move, and manage money according to pre-written logic. No human intermediaries, no office hours, no fees to the middlemen. In 2018, a developer named Hayden Adams built Uniswap on a weekend, not as a company, not backed by venture capital, just code deployed on a blockchain, creating a way for anyone in the world to trade any Ethereum-based asset without a central authority making the market. By 2024, Uniswap had processed over $2 trillion in trading volume. Let that sink in. A protocol written over a weekend by one person had moved more money than the GDP of most countries on Earth. The old gatekeepers were starting to look very nervous. Then came the summer of 2020, and everything changed. Compound Finance, a lending protocol on Ethereum, introduced something the crypto world had never seen: yield farming. You could deposit your crypto as collateral, borrow against it, and earn comp tokens, the protocol's governance token, just for participating. The returns were extraordinary. Annualized yields of 100%, 200%, in some cases over 1,000%. Money flooded in. Within weeks, the total value locked in DeFi protocols, the measure of capital deployed across the entire ecosystem, exploded from $1 billion to nearly $15 billion. The crypto internet had a name for it: DeFi Summer. Protocols like Aave allowed anyone to become a lender, earning interest from borrowers around the world. SushiSwap forked Uniswap's code overnight and launched its own rival, offering token rewards to liquidity providers who migrated their assets. Every week brought a new protocol. Every week brought new opportunity and new risk. The traditional finance world watched with a mixture of confusion and alarm. Something was happening in public, on-chain, for anyone to see, and it was moving fast. So how does it actually work? Let's break it down. The foundation of decentralized finance is the smart contract. Think of it like a vending machine. You put money in, you get a product out. No cashier required. A smart contract does the same thing with financial transactions. The rules are written in code. The code executes automatically. No one can override it. At the heart of decentralized exchanges is a mechanism called an automated market maker, or AMM. Instead of matching buyers and sellers in an order book, an AMM uses a mathematical formula to price assets based on their ratio in a liquidity pool. Here's how a liquidity pool works. Two users deposit equal value of two different tokens, say Ethereum and a stablecoin, into a shared pool. Any trader can swap one asset for the other directly with the pool. The pool automatically adjusts its price based on supply and demand. The people who deposit assets are called liquidity providers. In exchange for their capital, they earn a percentage of every trade that passes through the pool. Yield farming takes this further. Protocols reward liquidity providers with their own governance tokens. Those tokens give holders voting rights over the protocol's future, and they trade on the open market. This created a powerful flywheel. More liquidity attracted more traders. More traders generated more fees. More fees attracted more liquidity. Some protocols went from $0 to $1 billion in days. And because all of this runs on a public blockchain, every transaction, every pool, every yield is verifiable in real time. No trust required. But DeFi's greatest strength, permissionless code, is also its greatest vulnerability. When anyone can deploy a smart contract, not everyone will deploy one safely. The history of DeFi is littered with exploits, hacks, and outright fraud. Flash loan attacks allowed hackers to borrow millions within a single transaction, manipulate prices, and return the loan, all before the next block was mined. Protocols lost hundreds of millions of dollars. Rug pulls, where developers abandoned projects after collecting investor funds, became a recurring nightmare. Some projects ran for days before vanishing, taking everything with them. The Ronin network hack of 2022 saw $600 million stolen from the Axie Infinity ecosystem in a single breach. The largest crypto hack in history at the time. Code is neutral. It does exactly what it's told. If a developer writes a flaw into a contract intentionally or by accident, no regulator can stop it. This is the frontier of finance. The same open architecture that made DeFi revolutionary also made it dangerous. No safety net, no insurance, no customer service line. If you make a mistake on chain, it is permanent. So where does DeFi go from here? Real-world assets are being tokenized on chain. Governments are exploring digital currencies built on blockchain infrastructure. Traditional banks are quietly studying smart contract architecture. BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, launched a tokenized fund on Ethereum. The lines between traditional finance and decentralized finance are blurring. And those who understand how this technology works, really works, will be positioned ahead of the curve. That is exactly why this channel exists, to cut through the noise, explain the mechanisms, and give you the knowledge to navigate this revolution with confidence. If this video gave you real value, hit subscribe right now. A new deep dive drops every week. The revolution is on chain. And now, so are you.